Hey guys, FTG here, and today I'll be talking about weekly hard stratagem number 17, the best team comps for this, the best build setups, and how to easily cheese the Helldrake. Now, this weekly hard is pretty damn annoying. I think a lot of people will be irritated with this one because, first of all, it's on Reliquary, and everybody hates this map. And the battlefield conditions here are point blank. Range damage at ranges less than 10 meters is increased by 75%. Myopia, range damage at ranges greater than 10 meters is reduced by 75%. And press the attack. Not performing a finisher for 20 seconds will start draining your health down to 30%, but finishers restore your HP. Now, point blank is pretty nice. Things like plasma pistol, multi-melt, and stuff like that will just nuke every enemy along the way. Press the attack actually gives you a ton of extra HP, even though you do get whittled down to 30% occasionally. And myopia is god-awful because this basically says you're going to be doing jack shit for damage versus the Helldrake. So in this mission in particular, you really want an Auspex scan, but there are also some ways to cheese it by yourself, because I did solo this mission on a Bulwark with a Power Fist, because the Power Fist can actually hit the Helldrake from like a certain spot that I'll show you guys in a second. But as far as press the attack is concerned, this one may sound really scary to people, but not performing a finisher for 20 seconds is a pretty big grace period, and the amount of HP you restore off of the finisher from this one is completely dependent on how dangerous the enemy is. So Minoris will give you like 5 or 10% of your HP back, and Majoris will give you like what feels to be 20%, and Extremis can give you like 40% or 50% of your HP back. So for this mission, you really don't need healing perks like Adrenaline Rush, Invigorating Icon, or Amaziel. I think they're kind of redundant. You definitely take other options if like you usually rely on those. And press the attack is really not as bad as it seems, and being at like 30% HP on a Bulwark, that hardly matters to begin with. Now, as far as builds go for this, I do think the best team comp would probably be take a Bulwark with a Power Fist, take an Assault with a Power Fist, build for things like Overcharge. This is a multiplicative damage increase of 25% and 20% on Bulwark respectively. That will up your Power Fist damage dramatically, and I will show you guys a little spot that if you see here, this is an area where as long as you stand in that spot and you place like a Melta Bomb down or something like that, you are able to hit the Helldrake with a Power Fist charge attack or like grenades. It is not like super practical to use grenades at times. It really depends on the map or like what you get, and like you really need a coordinated team for that. But even if you're by yourself, you can just overcharge punch the boss over and over. It doesn't do a ridiculous amount of damage, but it is pretty nice to have. And I will say that like in general, the Helldrake may suck, but he can be cheesed a little bit, so just keep that in mind. Now, for the #1 most crucial thing in a team comp, in my opinion, I think it'd be tactical. Now, precise calibration plus concentrated fire, this one gives you a 75% damage buff on your Auspex scan. The radius is reduced by 25%, and concentrated fire will give you 120% additional damage on your Auspex scan, and it will last 60% longer. So when you have an Auspex with these two perks attached to it, put on the Helldrake, you will start doing a normal amount of damage again. Precise calibration and concentrated fire is something I recommend all the time, because boss nuking in this game is just super important. It's like the best combo for that. Now, another perk I would always take here, Secure Stockpile, can be restored by 1 for all of your squad members, cooldown is 60 seconds. And this one will just give you guys melted bombs, crack grenades, shock grenades to make your mission go pretty smoothly. Or you can like blow up or do free damage on the boss at the end if you don't have Power Fists on your team. Now, the best overall tactical build, in my opinion, for this would just be taking the Pyre Blaster on top of a Plasma Pistol and your chosen melee weapon. The melee weapon doesn't matter too much, but the Pyre Blaster will just roast the entire mission for you. It is very easy to just sit there and hip fire this thing the entire time to Chaos Hordes and just melt all of them. It will do a ton of boss damage outside of things like the Helldrake, and the Plasma Pistol at close range with that 75% range damage buff at close range is super powerful, especially if we take things like Plasma Boost. So I would definitely pick this up if you're trying to take tactical, and you could even take Relentless Pursuit if you want. I would probably take Heightened Vigor just so you don't get knocked around, because having no knockback in Space Marine 2 is really important. But overall, as a tactical, you're pretty much just a support for your team. That's really all you have to be, because tactical as a support and an Auspex Secure Stockpile bot is really enough for most situations. And if you're able to enable a Power Fist on your Assault and Bulwark while you are fighting the Helldrake in that one little particular spot, you will nuke him down, because the tactical Auspex will take your damage up to like normal levels. Once again, that was kind of funny that usually this would nuke down the Helldrake, but in this operation, it will just pretty much put your damage back to normal. So I would definitely pick this up. I do think tactical is very important, though it does take some coordination. Now, for the Assault here, and just for the Bulwark as well, on top of the Power Fist, now, the way you set up the Power Fist is by, first of all, take the block power fist because the block power fist is by far the best power fist. The speed stat here of 1 does nothing to your actual charge rate of your charge attacks, and charge attacks are all that matter on a power fist in the first place. And the way we set it up here is going here into Perpetual Strength, moving into the perk not fast preparation, heavy preparation. Heavy attack preparation times reduced by 30%, applies to the following attacks: Thrust Jab, Back Fist, Hammer Hook, Back Fist 2, and Thrust Jab 2. This gets your heavy attacks out significantly faster. Your charge attacks are all that really matters. So pretty much always pick this one up. Then we move here into Perpetual Strength, moving here into the perk Focused Intention. When your health is below 30%, you will take 50% less health damage while preparing heavy attacks. This makes you very tanky, especially on a Bulwark where you have all that extra damage reduction. And even on Assault, this is like one of the best damage reduction perks for him. So definitely pick this one up. Then grab the perk here, Tide of Battle. The power wave forward distance increases from 4 to 8 meters. This will apply to all of your charge attacks. And now, this description is actually incorrect. It will take it from 10 to 20 meters, so you'll be able to punch the Helldrake right in the face at that spot I'm talking about, so definitely grab this one. Then you can pick up perks like Strength of Will up here with perks like Following Blow. This one helps for like picking up free executes. Then I just grab the perk here combo into the perk Majora Slayer. That's pretty much how you always set up the Power Fist here on pretty much every variant in the game, because the other perk options, they're just not that good, unfortunately. So definitely set up this way. Now, for the perk tree on Assault, I would just take Overcharge. You could take Armor Reinforcement. This does make your life a little bit easier, but Overcharge, the damage buff from this is super important on this mission, in my opinion. I really don't think Assault is that bad versus Chaos whatsoever, but a lot of people might struggle with him on that. So if you want to take Bulwark instead, or you want to take like a different class, you could. But like as far as nuking the Helldrake goes, this is one of the best classes for it this time, just because of that power fist damage. Now, consecutive execution is pretty nice for getting those 90-second melt bombs, but if you have a secure stockpile tactical, you could just take defense mechanism, because this one does save you a lot of HP. But to be honest, your HP doesn't matter too much on this mission, because you do have that HP on finisher restore, which is pretty nice on that that modifier there. So if we're trying to fight off a bunch of chaos guys, you could just skip over this, or you can even take Auxiliary Arsenal. It is up to you. Next perk here is Knowledge of the Enemy, moving here to Strategic Strikes, because this will have us do even more damage to the Helldrake. Then I grab the classic combo, Smiting Angel, Zealous Blow, and Pride and Duty. This will give you a 50% buff to your ground pound damage when both of these are active. This one will trigger off of any finisher. And I do want to mention while I'm here about triggering finishers, a finisher can be triggered off of any single Gunstrike attack or like my Norse Execute whatsoever, so pretty good for that. And that also counts for the modifier over here, so this isn't just an execute when it talks about a finisher here on Press the Attack. You could just Gunstrike an enemy, you could do a Minoris, grab attack or something like that, or just knock a Minoris down and Gunstrike them. That will count for resetting the 20-second timer, so just keep that in mind. Now, as far as the Bulwark options go, I would just go for full damage reduction. This is what I did. You could take Intimidating Aura first if you really wanted to. This does help out with boss fights and stuff like that. But when you're at 30% HP and you have Conviction for a 25% health damage reduction while your armor is fully depleted, and you also have Scramble Targeting for a 25% range damage reduction while surrounded by 5 more enemies, and you have Steel Within for a 30% health damage reduction while below 50% HP, it is very hard to die on the Bulwark, especially in this modifier where you are just drip-fed HP all the time. I would set it up this way just because it makes your life way easier, and a lot of times the way you actually kill the Helldrake, especially in a random pub, is just going to be doing the symbols over and over again, because every single time you finish 3 symbols on the Helldrake, it will take a little bit of damage outside the damage you actually shoot it with. Like the actual little light laser beam will damage the Helldrake a little bit, so having these 2 perks that makes you super tanky in between those areas is pretty nice. You really have to carry like a particularly stupid squad. I know a lot of you guys will play with randoms, so Bulwark, he's just overall very strong for surviving all the time, and at some point attrition is really all you need to kill the Helldrake, unless your teammates keep hitting the wrong symbol. I can't really help you there. Now, as far as the team perks go, I do take Focus Restoration. Every 30 seconds, all of your squad members automatically restore 1 armor segment. This perk is really nice for free range damage reduction and free damage reduction in general. Now, Effective Formation is also very strong if you want to take all like the damage reduction perks you possibly can. You will be stupidly tanky with this perk on top of everything else, and usually Extremis and Terminus are the enemies that would nuke you anyways, so pretty strong option. I decided to take this one today. Next perk here is Purity of Purpose. The banner will deal damage over time to enemies in this area of effect. This basically puts down a shock grenade around your banner, which is pretty nice to have. It does do a substantial amount of damage, and the next perk I take after this is Glory Shield. All of your squad members in the banner's area of effect take 20% less damage, and the banner will last 20% longer. This just makes your banner more valuable, so pretty nice for that. Also gives you more time on your Purity of Purpose. Now, usually, I would take Invigorating Icon, but since we have all that extra healing off of Press the Attack, we really don't need this perk, and having more banners can actually be more beneficial to us, especially for things like Hell Brutes and boss fights, because the amount of HP you're getting off of finishers is super substantial, so having this, and really not that important in my opinion. Next perk here is Merciless Resolve. After a Shield Bash, Shield Rush, or Thunder Herald Pommel Smash, the melee damage will be increased by 15%, and you won't lose control from heavy hits, and you can't be knocked back for 10 seconds. This just gives you no knockback and enables you to survive in situations you would otherwise just get knocked around and die. If you want to skip this and just take Armor Advance or like take Rejuvenating Effect instead, you could. This is a really good no knockback perk, but instead today I decided to take Defensive Mastery to one-shot a Majora's or Extremis level enemy every 90 seconds, because sometimes removing an Extremis or getting a free execute is just really nice, especially that HP restore off of Press the Attack. Now, as far as prestige perks go, it's way more important for this class than it's like the other ones that overcharge. I would just definitely take this. This is a free multiplicative 20% damage buff to your Power Fist charge attacks and also your Shield Bash at times, I believe, but mainly your Power Fist. That's the main thing we're using it for here. Now, Overcharge is a very powerful perk. Just take this all the time. Resilience is nice for 4% more HP from stims. Masterful Defense is really nice to have for just getting your banner back over and over versus things like Soul Can Terminators. And Powerful Shot and Auxiliary Reload are always pretty classic. But, you know, it's really up to you if you want to take these. That's pretty much all there is for the build setups. Now, you could play things like Multi-Melta Heavy or Plasma Heavy. These are really good throughout the mission, but the main reason I want to Power Fist here is because the finale is a part of this mission that actually sucks ass. The rest of it's actually quite easy because this 75% range damage buff at close range is super useful versus Chaos, and Reliquary for the most part is a pretty close quarters map. Like the bridge portion will funnel guys into you, things like the interior section of the like, you know, the Servo Skull, stuff like that is really easy to just get that 75% buff all the time. And things like the Bolt Carbine are also very powerful versus this, but I'm mainly building for the finale because the finale is what sucks, and the finale is probably what's going to filter most players who are trying to do this seriously, I think. And in pubs, that will suck the most, so that's why I'm giving this build setup today. Though, as far as other options would go, you know, you can take Vanguard Melter Rifles, you can take Inner Fire. These are all good build setups for this, or things like Emergency Emperor's Blessing here to make sure you pretty much never die. Other options would be like Sniper Bolt Carbine at close range of the automatic variant. This is a really good gun at close range because it already has an amazing headshot multiplier within 10 meters, so that 75% damage buff will make you do ridiculous amounts of damage along the way of your mission, and other things like the heavy, you know, Multi-Melta Plasma. These are always really good, but, you know, I have a lot of builds for those, and I would pretty much just pick any one of those if you really want to do that. But overall, I do think Tactical Assault and Bulwark will have the absolute easiest time just nuking the boss. And, you know, if you happen to get enough Melta Bombs or Shock Grenades even and stuff like that to just throw them in that one spot, that will also serve you pretty well. And that's pretty much all there is for this one, guys. I won't lie, Reliquary sucks. People probably won't like this one. I can't blame them because this hard stratagem is ass. Like, it's not fun to do. This was one of the most annoying ones to do, in my opinion. It is just very time-consuming to kill the Helldrake, and the Helldrake is a shit boss fight, but hopefully this made your time a little bit easier or gave you some tips you didn't know about, and maybe that little spot where you can just kill the Helldrake will serve you well. And as always, guys, if you like content like this, subscribe for more, and take it easy. Thanks for watching. Bye.